Can you feel that?
Wesley's working in the mines. I don't know, it sounds like you're doing some...
This is a great dramatic opening to start with. Here, let me try and do it anyway. We just watched a $1 billion submarine sink a ship in the Indian Ocean. It's a clean, cynical victory 7,000 miles away. But while we're looking at the horizon, we're ignoring the off switch sitting in our own ports and power grids. Today we're talking about why the imperial presidency is a luxury American infrastructure can no longer afford. So first, I'll apologize for the noise. If it gets into the final recording, maybe the noise canceling will be able to get rid of it. But they're tearing down one building after another on my street. If you want to see what real urban renewal looks like, you need to come to Hanoi now. This is a real side note, but since I live here, I'm just going to let people know. Whatever you thought Vietnam was, whatever image you had of it, in the past, it is changing into something completely different. And if you want to see that, if you find that sort of thing interesting, this is the time to come and see Vietnam, because it is. I've heard it described as, and I think it's a pretty good analogy, as the next Korea. It's a much larger country than Korea, I think, but that sort of economic transformation.
Wow.
Right now. And sorry about that. Sorry about the noise, but I'm Wesley Green. This is Dispatches from the Pavement, and I am joined by Erica and Scott. Hello, guys.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. We just got started, Scott. We waited a few minutes because I had trouble finding my notes, what we were going to talk about today. And I also wanted to mention a couple of personal things. Well, personal, but they're related to where I'll be. I guess that doesn't matter to viewers because I have other social media things they might be interested to know or to keep up with. I thought for a while I was very soon headed to China. Currently, I live in Hanoi, Vietnam. I thought I was headed to China. I was talking to somebody about a job. The job is still on, but the visa process will take much longer. I was trying to get them to accept me as a business, so I could come in on a business visa, and I was all ready to set my business up. It was not going to be a fake business, so it was going to be incorporated in the U.S., but apparently with the type of work I'm doing, that just doesn't work with the visa. So they said, no, you have to come in on a work visa, which has its perks too. You get to stay in permanently, and you don't have to worry about running to the border, but it takes a lot longer to get. So I will be in Hanoi for the next several months. We've tried to go through the work visa route before, and it takes a long time. I know you guys remember that. You were with me during that period. Okay, so did you guys have anything you wanted to say? Any updates from the show? Personal? Anything?
I just hope you can't hear me eating my strawberries.
You're just eating the strawberries?
Yeah, I just hope you can't hear me eating them. That would be...
I can't hear it. No, I can hardly hear anything. It's not going to make the greatest soundtrack, but, we're keeping it real here on this show. They're tearing these concrete buildings down, and they just have to, go in, and you can't do it with, like you can in a lot of countries where they build the buildings around a parking, a 7-acre parking lot. You can just go in and blow them up and hit them with a giant swinging metal ball. You can't do that here. The buildings are built too close together, so they had to just go in and hire manual labor. Good for job creation, to physically pull the building apart and pull it down from the inside. In fact, next week, this is the second one on my street that's done this in the past couple of months. The next phase after they get done with the painting will be the jackhammer to tear the concrete apart. So good.
So they're really quick about that then, because that seems like it's a lot of work.
These are 3- and 4-story buildings.
That's going to be real pleasant with that jackhammer going in the morning.
I'll be lucky if they're not doing it at 3 a.m. They're usually not, but it can run late sometimes.
You know what's funny is I can sleep through construction and destruction sounds and everything. I just can't sleep through like people talking outside and kids hollering.
Yeah, I'm not using earphones because I didn't work last week, so I did not hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
hopefully we can do this.
Holy crap, because that was loud. I'm pretty loud talking, Wesley. I'm a loudmouth.
I mean, I'm just on my laptop, so I would like to get a more elaborate setup, but this podcast isn't quite turning a profit yet. What we're really doing is creating a backlog for the channel, so that if one day people are interested, they can go watch or listen, in this case, to what we have done. I'm posting this on podcast sites, but also the YouTube channel. YouTube lets you to post podcasts as well.
Okay.
Yeah, just in both places. Oh, and the Substack. The Substack is what I meant when I said the podcast, because I'm not putting it on Spotify. I never got many hits on that, and it would be the only thing I put on there, so I'm not going to bother with that. Okay, so I think we're ready to move on. We talked about last week the start of the war, and there was part of me that hoped this would be one of those things the U.S. does that just it's a one shot and then they stop worrying about it. But that has not been the case, at least not so far. And I think one of the big reasons for that is that they didn't know it when we did the podcast, because we did it right after it started. But they killed Khomeini. They targeted and killed the leader. I thought, not that it matters to Trump, I guess, but I thought it was illegal to assassinate the head of a foreign government.
Well, it's probably also illegal to go snatch them out of their country, too, but we did that in Venezuela a few weeks ago, so.
No, true. Absolutely true.
International law be damned. They don't care.
Have you seen all the piracy we've been doing lately in the Caribbean?
Yeah, and it's not even any fancy little Johnny Depp going on over there.
No, there's no whimsy about it. I mean, it's... so, yeah, I don't know that international law or even domestic law holds much interest for many in that administration. On the perhaps bright comeuppance side, Kristi Noem was fired today from DHS.
You're characterizing it as her being fired. What I read was that she was transferring to a new thing.
To a new white supremacy named group. Wait, let me find it. Shield the Americas.
Shield of the Americas. As a friend of mine said today, it sounds like something out of a Marvel movie.
Mm-hmm. Like Marvel if it's all white nationalists.
Is this a bullshit position to get her out of that top position because they don't want to publicly say that she's doing a terrible job, but they want to get her out of that position? Is that what's going on?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they said, too, that they would be announcing what Shield of the Americas is later this week. But we've also been waiting on Infrastructure Week since his first term, and which was coming in 2 weeks when he announced it. And also his health care plan, which, there were concepts of a plan during the election. So the fact that he says, it's going to be here Friday, I mean, that's some I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today stuff.
All right. Well, I wanted to...
In my humble opinion, ladies and gentlemen, I don't have a source. I'm just opinionated.
Oh, guys, I just realized my Substack that I write is called Dispatches from the Pavement, and we have not formally settled on a name for this podcast, which, and I just realized I introduced the podcast as Dispatches from the Pavement. We did call the show... Go ahead.
I thought you had decided on that then, since that's how you introduced it, but okay.
What?
Dispatches from the Pavement is also a perfectly fine title.
It's fine with me. We were calling it the Ramblers because that was the name of the old name of the YouTube channel. I've turned the YouTube channel, changed the name to From the Pavement. So I've kind of changed the style of that. doesn't actually, now that we're doing it this way, it doesn't actually match any kind of content that we're doing. But I don't know. It's I see no reason not to keep them together. I guess if somebody starts to complain, maybe we could separate them. But I'm just doing the walks on the YouTube channel with just ambient sound without putting our voices on there. And then I've taken our discussions and put them on this podcast. And I'm also going to post them on the channel. They're not related. I don't know if that bothers people. I don't think it does, to be totally honest. Most people don't go to the channel and then find a video. Most people do a search and just find a video or a podcast that pops up.
Yeah, I think if you're like a big established channel with like 1 million followers or something, and you want to start doing something a little off-brand, and yeah, you maybe do a separate channel, but I don't think we're there yet.
Take some lessons. So, I guess the message on that was, if you guys have ideas about a title for the podcast or opinions, let me know what those are. I guess that goes out to any potential listeners, although by the time people listen to this, we may have already decided. Feel free to weigh in.
I mean, yeah, maybe.
Oh, and I also want to let you know, on that Substack is where I post any opinions, research, thoughts I have on. I try to stick to what we're talking about. Sometimes if the news isn't so crazy, there may be a connection to the videos that I'm making. But this week it seems like I'm not going to walk around Iran right now, so the videos will not be there.
Yeah, that's not a safe place for anybody to be, much less an American right now.
No, yeah, and I wouldn't blame them for that. I don't, but I won't walk around there.
Yeah.
So right now there's no connection, but the thing I posted this week was something about the war. What was the post? Hold on, I'll tell you. Was it posted yet? Oh, that's a. No, it hasn't posted yet. So it will post today in 2 days. So it'll post on Sunday. And I called it the end of sanctuary. And here was what I was talking about. Today, we talked about the War Powers Act last week and how the 48-hour notification thing is a joke. Today, I wanted to talk about that, but also move into our vulnerabilities. I think we mentioned it last week, so I wanted to write something and talk about something related to that. But first, let's talk about that 48-hour Mirage, the War Powers Act. We started that last week. Do you guys know anything about the War Powers Act? War Powers Resolution. Sorry, everybody calls it the War Powers Act. That's a slight error. It was a resolution of Congress.
I guess I don't know enough about it to get into the nitty-gritty of it.
It comes from 1973, and it represents one of the most significant attempts by Congress to reassert constitutional authority over the twilight zone of concurrent war-making powers. It came from the revelation of the secret war, the bombings in Cambodia during the Vietnam War, a decade of undeclared war in Vietnam. The resolution was enacted over the veto of Nixon, that it was an unconstitutional restriction on executive prerogative. However, the application of the law over the past 5 decades suggests that the executive branch has successfully integrated the resolution into its administrative routines, not as a constraint on action, but as a procedural hurdle to be bypassed through linguistic precision and selective reporting.
I'm going to go ahead and do this, and then it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission, and they don't technically have to ask for permission first. There's I can't remember the technicalities of it, but I know for a fact that obviously there's been another president that's done that, but people were more gung-ho about it because it was actually supposedly worthwhile back in 9/11. But okay, you know that act or resolution is moot right now because the Senate and House said, nah, we're not reining him in. We're not stopping him. I mean, they literally just did that.
Yep, that was a very recent thing. It was on my feed this morning. And I thought they just they failed to pass the resolution, so they're just not going to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in both chambers.
Yeah, I mean, literally, I just saw it like an hour ago about the House, but definitely the Senate. Interesting. John Fetterman, the traitor turncoat bastard, voted with the Republicans on the not halting this unwarranted disaster, but then Rand Paul voted with the Dems.
If Rand Paul's a libertarian, that squares with, which I don't think he's nearly as strict a libertarian as his father was, but if he's a libertarian, that squares with libertarianism. They don't want foreign wars.
Mm-hmm. He's been vocal about it since the first time Orange Hitler was elected. And I don't know. It's just, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. There's no way. I don't know.
Well, okay, so my issue with the War Powers Resolution is that the Constitution, so before this, we just had the Constitution and the fact that Congress was supposed to have the power to declare war, not the executive branch. But, so presumably the executive branch the president is the commander-in-chief. He gets to do what he wants with the military, or what he thinks is right, not what he wants, possibly. But he gets to do that. But that ends at the borders of another country. Like, he cannot. This is, my mentality when I read the Constitution, where the powers are, where the powers lie. He can move our troops around within neutral territory, within where they're allowed to go, and within the United States, but he can't send them into a foreign country without permission of Congress. But the executive has just been doing that whenever they want. Well, that is an effective declaration of war. It may not be a technical declaration of war, but effectively, you're attacking the other country. They're going to see it that way, which means we're at war, because they're not going to wait for our Congress to decide whether it's war. They're going to attack. So
right, I could just see that. Hey, wait, your Congress didn't say it was war. You just blew us up. It's not war, though.
Right, it's not war. We'll let you do whatever you want until Congress declares. No, it seems to be based on the presumption that they can't do anything in retaliation. And for a long time, that has been true. I will grant you that. For a long time, anyone we attack has not really had the power to retaliate against the United States.
Against the United States, homeland. Yeah.
Yeah, sure, homeland. I mean, this attack on U.S. bases in the region from Iran, that's actually fairly new as well.
Embassies, too. Embassies, too. I believe embassies have also been hit over there, which is
So
technically U.S. soil.
Yeah, U.S. holdings, U.S.
Yeah. So let me rephrase that and say, they're really. It's not like, to use some of our most recent conflicts. It's not like Vietnam or what's now North Korea could hit some of our holdings anywhere in the region or anything like that, really. So yeah, you're right. I mean, Desert Storm was a little bit of a difference, because they were hitting us while we were in Kuwait and stuff like that. Yeah, but that's been about the only one since World War II, really.
Well, I feel like that, just what you just described, is a progression over time. Because if you go back to, say, Korea, I don't think the North Korean army had a huge ability to strike into where we were in South Korea. Of course, there were battles and they fought back, but they didn't have the sort of ballistic and missile technology that, well, I guess it is ballistic, but the sort of ballistic technology that they do now, it just wasn't around. You still required an air force for that. And you kind of don't now. I mean, I guess technically drones are an air force, but Iran doesn't have a traditional air force, and they don't seem to need it.
If they do, I think it's very small. Or if they did,
I'm sure on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it doesn't exist anymore, but.
Did you guys? No, I mean, you guys see that? The story where they had got the U.S. to waste missiles on just hitting the ground by painting pictures of planes and helicopters?
Yes, the whole Acme Wile E. Coyote thing.
Yeah.
Yes. And I hate it. You know how bad this illegitimate administration is, to where I'm pulling for these other people, because we know that these guys, Trump and crew, are the baddies. They're the bad guys. Okay, not
Right.
to say that Khomeini or anybody, not to say that the
Yeah, nobody has said in any of this that the Venezuelan Maduro or Khomeini or any of the Iranian governments over there now are good people. That doesn't make it okay to go murder them or kidnap them.
Right, kidnap them and then kill children, just blow up anything without any proof of any kind of wrongdoing. And also, we know there wasn't. Also, even blowing up ships and then not letting the people drown, that is criminal also. Like, it's just, there's so much crap. I don't know. So yeah, I'm pulling for him. So when I saw where Iranian missiles hit Tel Aviv, because people forget, I know we're talking about our side because it's U.S., but we're doing it for Bibi, for old Netanyahu. We're doing it in, collusion with that bastard. So, I'm like, oh, well, oops, missiles in Tel Aviv. I mean, I feel bad for the people that aren't doing anything wrong over there, but God.
That's the thing, is like, they're never going to, at this point, they're never going to shoot the people who are actually responsible for this. It's always going to be somebody that was just doing their job or just trying to live their life or whatever.
Of course,
it's
all
not,
this. Yeah.
And just
they're never.
And just for the record too, when she's talking about, for the listeners out there, if you don't know, when she's talking about letting people drown after we shot their boat, that was in the waters near Venezuela. That was when they were shooting, quote unquote, drug boats.
Well, they just recently did it too.
With the one
the Indian, they were supposed to be a peaceful action, but the people from Iran, what they were doing, some kind of a military, I don't know, exercise.
It was military exercises with India. Yeah.
Yeah. And we blew them up. I don't want to say we. I don't even like to say we. I hate that now. But anyway, the bad guys blew them up and then did not rescue them. It had, I can't even remember what other people rescued.
Sri Lanka.
Yeah, Sri Lankans rescued them. These people, the people that are actually acting benevolently, sort of benevolently, just the general population, not the ones that are never going to suffer from this. But anyway, they're doing better than this government. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's just another criminal act. Just another
Sri Lanka
international
recovered the bodies. I was able to rescue 32 people. 87 people were killed. Here's the thing, though. I'm trying to find it so that I don't get the facts wrong. But it was an unarmed vessel. It was participating in games?
Maneuvers. Training maneuvers with India. Yeah, and the Iranians have said it was unarmed and it was full of trainees. I mean, I don't know. It is a battleship. I can't believe they sent it out there without any guns on it to do training without any guns on it. What are they training with? But at the same time, shooting in international waters, I don't know.
Yeah.
Especially when you're trying not to escalate this outside of Iran, basically. You're wanting to keep it contained. So they'll stop.
Who's wanting? We want it to be contained. They're not.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. It's like, who does that benefit? It's the Iranians, who will turn public support against us throughout the region.
Right, yeah.
And beyond, really, if you're talking about India probably is not happy about it either. It's like, well, they were just over here helping us. I mean,
right. They're like, oh, great, you make us look bad. Thanks.
And India is supposed to be an ally.
Uh-huh.
Everybody, this illegitimate regime, I won't call it administration. Everybody that's supposed to have been an ally has been shit on. I mean, that's all of them. The only ones that haven't is he was buddy with the Saudis, with Netanyahu. He loves Putin. He even praised Kim Jong-un. But no,
the people in Qatar, he loves not the people, but like the folks in charge in Qatar. I mean, we've got Qatar, excuse me. I mean, he took their bribe jet, and
Yeah.
he's apparently placed a bunch of his money that he's looted from Venezuela in an account over there, and I think we're building him a base, an Air Force training base for the Qatarian. I'm sorry, I don't know the adjective form of Air Force in America. I mean, didn't we have a problem with people from that area coming over here and us not vetting them good enough about 25 years ago?
Yep.
I mean, I'm obviously not saying all those people are terrorists, because God knows that is absolutely not the case at all, in truth or in what I'm saying. But
you just don't open it up to having history repeat itself. Yeah.
You are opening the door to let bad people come over here and train to harm us. And I thought that's what you people who were trying to get rid of all the foreigners in this country didn't want.
Oh, I guess those Freedom Prize people don't give a shit anymore. They just want people to die. They don't care.
They just want, and how can we make money off it? If the boss man's making money, I'm happy. Oh my God.
Oh, and I'm still talking about like the supporters, the ones that are still completely asinine about all of it. Because I'm sure there are people that are like, "Oops, maybe we shouldn't have done that." But like, they're very vocal about not giving a damn about who lives or dies, and they're ignorant and
as long
hateful.
as it ain't them and theirs, that's all they care about.
I'm going to have a band, and I'm going to name it Bribe Jet. Trump's Bribe Jet from Qatar. Wait, Qatari. Oh, yeah.
Qatari Bribe Jet? That's the name of our next album.
Section 4A1 of the War Powers Resolution mandates that the President submit a report within 48 hours of introducing U.S. armed forces into hostilities or situations where imminent involvement or hostilities is clearly indicated. The submission of report under this specific section triggers a 60-day clock requiring the President to withdraw forces unless Congress authorizes their continued use or declares war. In reality, presidents have almost universally avoided citing Section 4.1a in their reports. Instead, they frame their communications as being consistent with the War Powers Resolution rather than pursuant to its trigger provisions. This semantic distinction is the cornerstone of executive legal strategy. By using the phrase consistent with, the executive acknowledges the procedural existence of the law without conceding its constitutional validity or its ability to compel the termination of military operations. So because they use the right phrase, they get to do it. I'm going to get this name wrong, but this has happened in the Mayaguez incident in Lebanon, and that was in 1975. In Lebanon from 1982 to 1984. In Kosovo in 1999, that was under Clinton. In Libya in 2011 under Obama. The Houthi strikes in 2024 to 2025. So this is. I don't think that's a comprehensive list either. I think that's just some examples.
Two of those were Democrat presidents too. One of them was Reagan.
One of them was Reagan. Yeah, it's Democrats and Republicans. They both do it. Not to even Stevens everything, but they all do it.
Oh yeah, I don't want to be one of those people.
To this extent, like this is like, I hate to say it every time. This is unprecedented. The other stuff, the overstepping boundaries and being the bullies of the entire world. Yeah, that's typical. But this crap is just an onslaught of horrendous acts every freaking day. Every day.
They're getting ready to choke the life out of Cuba too.
They're doing it.
Yeah, that's already started. They don't have a power structure. Yeah, the people are starving.
Yeah. They are.
Well, that will probably be next week's topic. I know that's a rising concern, and they're already in bad shape because it doesn't take long having no fuel to get in bad shape.
The underhanded part of all this is bad enough, but the underhanded part of all this is that they're trying to do it by making the people suffer and turn them against the government. Just like in the article that Erica sent me last night pointed out, the Iranians are starting to at least consider hitting desalination plants in other Arab countries to make the people suffer. So
Right.
they'll turn on, so they'll get their
Wait, they
governments
did
to
hit
turn on
one.
the Americans. Huh?
I think they did hit
What?
one desalination. Let me find
Maybe
it.
they did.
But just one of them. I can't remember where it was, but yeah.
And that is just, I don't know, beyond the pale.
I mean, it's the same sort of thing we do.
It doesn't make it okay.
Sorry about singing.
It doesn't make any of it okay for anybody to do it, in my opinion, but that's, the people are always my...
This is why starting the war is the great
Right.
war
It's still, on this administration because they started it. We knew what Iran would do because that thing that I sent you, I sent it to you too, Wesley. That man is obviously an expert in just literally everything, political science, war, blah, 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 right? I cannot pronounce his name. I just know that every single thing that I read was frightening and definitely accurate. It seems like he's, everything has happened. He's not like Nostradamus or anything, What is it? What was it? Previous actions or predictor of future
actions.
You know what I'm saying? They did it once, they're going to do it again. Anyway, but with this administration, they're going to do it, and it's going to be without regard to anybody or anything but themselves and money, which is why Iran is going to continue doing whatever, because they know they're not going to so-called win a war there, because it's not about that. They're just going to try and keep the U.S. like shooting Wile E. Coyote targets and wasting money. You know what I mean?
I think it's strategy. As much as you watch the corporate media and they're just nonstop talking about, oh, Iran just made a mistake. Oh, they just messed up. Oh, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, I don't think they are. I think they know how people are going to react in the Middle East better than we do. I think they've been preparing for this for a long time because we've been threatening it for decades. And so now that it's actually happening, they have a plan in place and they know exactly what to do.
They're actually
talking about how quickly they can produce their drones versus how quickly we can produce our interceptors, and not just quickly, but the cost. They will drain the American budget very quickly. The difference between a $4 million missile and a $35,000 drone, no, they can just keep churning those out, and they will keep coming in. And they are doing damage, too. They're getting through. So,
what you said, the drones.
Yeah, they are.
The U.S., I don't know who approached Ukraine, but asked for Ukraine's expertise. Asked for Ukraine expertise on countering Iranian drones. Ukraine. How unaware of self and of asinine activity this administration is. Like, excuse me, you sat there and shit all over this man. Like you dissed him to his face. You disrespected him. You have been dangling help and have allowed Putin to just charge on in there. But yes, please go ahead and ask them to help you with
that's
the
just
drones.
it. I think from what I've seen of Zelensky, if they had come to him and say, we want your help and we're willing to give you all this stuff to help the war effort of the people, he would have sucked it up and done it for his people.
Right.
But we're not going to offer them anything except empty promises that these people won't keep those. Have you seen the people you're dealing with here? I mean, they're not going to do it.
Well, Erica, you said something about them being oblivious. I don't know what you said, but you said that like they're oblivious to what's going on. Like they just think, I want something, so I'm going to go get it. I feel like this is the way very rich, spoiled children act.
Because that's who's in charge.
It's certainly the way children act.
But that's also what the country is. We are the rich, spoiled child of the world. And
also, the people here, everybody's a yes man. Everybody's an idiot. And I mean it. Like, usually I'd be like, they're idiots because they're Republicans. But every single person of this administration is unqualified, untrained, unknowing. They know nothing about anything. That's why there's no strategy. There was no preparation. And they were just thinking, hey, we're just going to bomb, and nothing will happen. And Iran will just go, oops, I'm sorry. But Iranians are trained. They've been prepared for this. I just hate them.
So this is why I want to transfer into the myth of U.S. invulnerability. I think the fact that it's all just morally and ethically wrong is good enough reason not to do it. But I think a lot of people might be more convinced if they find out how vulnerable we are. And I don't think most Americans know. I don't think most Americans realize that asymmetric warfare is the new front line of warfare. Yes, they're doing some crazy like Bugs Bunny style tricks over there that are getting us to waste money, and that's not nothing. But they can also actually attack in the U.S. Like we have for years, we've seen news reports about the vulnerability of stuff like the Texas power grid, ERCOT. This is one of the big vulnerabilities in the U.S. The Texas power grid is separate from the rest of the country, and it's especially vulnerable.
Well, apparently there was a mass shooting of 3 people at a nightclub in Austin. And from what I saw on the news today, the shooter apparently was maybe connected to, or at least inspired by, what just happened in Iran.
If we can believe everything that's being said in our media, and
if you would like to find another source for me to look at, happy to look, but I'm going with what I got.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying, I just don't trust them. That's, it's just like, we all know Trump did not get shot in the damn ear. Okay. So if they can come up with that, they can come up with anything. They could shove someone. No, the guy might be off his rocker though. And still, this is like a product of this administration. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. The guy does look not stable.
I mean, I don't think that far-fetched. I don't know his background. I assume he was Iranian. Do we know?
No.
He just looked like a regular kind of black guy.
Oh, no, he's African. He's Diagni. I'll have to look for the origin of that name, but yeah, let me find out.
Well, no, I was just making the point of, if that is the case, if that does bear out, what Wesley is talking about is already happening. There are terrorists being at least inspired by what has happened in Iran, attacking us here in America. They killed 3 young people, or he did, 3 young people out there at that nightclub.
Right, okay.
And people don't know that there are still terror cells. And also, who's monitoring that right now? Who's monitoring that? All of these unqualified people that you just put in. Yeah.
Nobody. DHS isn't being funded because they wouldn't agree to any oversight and changes with the ICE enforcement. So they're not being funded right now.
That's the other thing, Scott. Oh my God, y'all. The amount of money pumped into ICE versus our own protection and I don't know. I don't want to say maneuvers around the world, but yeah, there's more money pumped into ICE than the current military. Well, I heard
today that the military is asking Congress for even more money, and they were like, nope. We gave y'all a bunch in the big, beautiful bill. You're good.
Big, beautiful bill. God.
Well, I was going to say on the shooter thing, I mean, that is a religious... Khomeini was a religious leader. Not only was he a leader of the country, which makes it illegal to assassinate him. I mean, I kind of feel like it's illegal to assassinate anybody, but certainly a leader of a country. But he was also a religious leader. I mean, they must have known there was going to be a lot of blowback from that. I'm not tapped into the Islamic world well enough to know if Shia and Sunni will both be upset that he was killed, but it seems like it's not a good move either way. It can do nothing but put the entire Islamic world against us to assassinate.
Well, I don't think the two ideologies for the followers of each really like each other that much. I mean, obviously it's going to depend on the people in the area and all that kind of stuff. That was part of the reason that the Iraq-Iran war happened, was because they were, and I don't remember which, I'm sorry, one was Sunni and one was Shiite. Also, obviously Saddam Hussein was a secular leader compared to the theocracy in Iran. So I don't know, you're right, I don't know how much it would affect like the other denomination, if you will. But it may. I mean, I'm not Catholic, but I listened to things the last couple of popes have said, and I'm like, yeah, that guy's right. Hey, that guy's got some good ideas, on some of this stuff. I mean, he's obviously, they both lean liberal, but I can respect the guy, at least a lot of it, not all of it, but a lot of it.
Okay, so Sunni is the majority religion is in Islam, or the majority sect in Islam, and it's the majority religion in Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Turkey, Pakistan. Shia is the smaller group, and they are the majority religions in Iran and Iraq. Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, sorry then, maybe I was misinformed.
I mean, I that was my expression. Oh, it's both. I didn't realize. I thought they were two different, but no. For some reason, I thought Iraq was majority Sunni. Oh, I think I remember the issue now. Iraq was ruled by Sunni, but they are majority Shia, which caused the conflict in the country, and why Saddam Hussein ruled in a secular fashion to keep everyone, calm.
Okay.
All right. I seem to recall that. That's a history lesson from, someone who can't remember where he left his keys, but I believe that was the issue. But anyway, okay, so.
Just that faint recollection and kind of piecing together everything, you've still done more than what someone, say, like Hegseth knows about anything ever.
Yeah. I don't think they value information is the thing. They think if they don't already know it, it ain't worth knowing. But my point was that between Sunni and Shia, I don't know that they're going to watch, even though there's been conflict, and historical conflict going back centuries, I don't know that they're going to watch the leader of the other religion get killed and go, well, that's okay, we didn't like him.
Right.
I don't know if that's going to make them side with us.
No, it will make them wary of us for sure.
You're right.
Right, because if we're just like, oh, let's just kill religious leaders, I think they're going to go, hey, these guys are nuts and they're killing other Muslims. Let's not,
You can disagree and fuss and fight with the people in your own house all you want to, but when somebody from a different house comes over and starts trying it, then you usually band together. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right, you can call your own family member the worst thing in the world and have whatever kind of fights with them, but the minute someone else comes in and starts doing it, you all band together and turn against them.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like when they say for police people, some of the most dangerous calls going are the domestic disputes because, the guy may be hitting the woman, but when the cop comes in, you never know if the woman's going to be on his side on the cop side or the.
I mean, that happened. That happened not with the cops actually, but with the people in my family. We're pretty good white trash. My aunt was being beat up by her husband, and when my father went to confront him, she turned on my father. I dare you. But
yeah,
I mean, they're family. The husband was closer than the brother, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen all of that with my sister and her trash crew. I don't have anything to do with.
I've seen it in mine too, yeah.
Tales of white. Okay, so some of our vulnerabilities in Texas, ICS malware. Okay, so just say malware. I don't know what ICS means. Malware can be launched inside the United States to hit transmission lines. Sabotage. Where would they sabotage? Oh, power transformers. Okay. Could knock out huge parts of the system. The black start paradox. Once they knock the grid out, it would be not nearly impossible. It would be very difficult to restart it. Or it just says inability to restart the grid after a collapse. So that is a big, and that's one of our largest states. Maritime vulnerabilities. The Port of Long Beach and ZPMC. ZPMC is the company that makes a lot of the equipment, and they have found this equipment to be vulnerable to cellular modems found inside them, potentially creating backdoor pathways for espionage or remote sabotage. And the Port of Long Beach and Los Angeles together, those two ports, handle about 40% of U.S. imports. Although Donald Trump has really done a great job of destroying imports.
Yep.
Economic distortion. Oh, this is, I'm sure I won't have to try and convince you guys of this one, but the other thing is with the amount of money that we spend on war, and this goes back to the War Powers Act, because we allow presidents to get us into unnecessary wars and unproductive, I don't know if that makes any sense, wars, we have not, you may not have noticed this, we have not been spending on our own populations.
What?
Is this true? When we spend $1 million on defense, we create 5 jobs. When we spend $1 million on education, we create 30. And we have been funneling, because of this War Powers Act and the fact that we keep letting the president get us into what is actually a war, even if it's not declared, means we keep spending on military, which means we keep not spending on other things. Discuss. I have more for that. I just wanted to point it out.
I mean, look, we got to afford those tax cuts for the rich. No. Stop giving it to the poor.
Oh, yeah, we got to do the wars. And
beware the military industrial complex.
What people don't realize is when they talk about the amount of jobs, that's exactly the point. This was recognized, you guys know my thing is transportation. My hobby horse is transportation. And I was looking at reports about when states spend money on their road systems, they can either spend it to expand, like build a new road, or to maintain current roads. And most states, Georgia is like one of the few that actually spends to maintain. There's political corruption there too, but that's what they spend it on. Most states like to build new roads all the time. And that is because when you build new roads, a lot more of the money goes into the equipment and land purchasing. It's stuff where rich people can skim more off the top. They still have to, actually build the road. But when you go to road maintenance, a lot higher percentage of what you spend goes into jobs because it's labor intensive, rather than just, big machines and equipment and material. And that is why they like it, because the people who fund campaigns, political campaigns, are the same people who make the money when the government spends money on a road. So they want them to spend on new roads, and most states end up doing that. I think it's the same here. Like the 13 million jobs, yeah, that's a great argument, but that is precisely why they're not getting it. Because when you spend it on defense, it goes to a defense contractor, and that the profits go to the people who own the company, and they only create a handful of jobs. So
they're temporary because the roads don't need to be built after they're built.
Right. It's why we have an enormous highway system, and it's falling apart, in a lot of states, not all.
Look, we're not going to get that crumbling Roman Empire look without letting a few roads go. If you want some of that aesthetic, you're going to have to let some of these roads crumble.
All right, guys. I'm glad we got to talk about this. I think next week, probably, what do you think, Cuba for next week? I mean, we don't know what's going to happen between now and next week.
Yeah.
To be fair, but talking about
just
Cuba.
To make another comparison to Rome, apparently somebody in Congress was saying something about how it was ridiculous that Major League Baseball games are now spread out all over these different networks and streaming services and all that stuff. And they're not wrong, but they're like, we're going to look into this. And it's like, really? This is one of the things you want to look into? It's like,
wow.
You got to have your circuses to go along with your bread, the poors.
Well, and we know why sports were created anyway, because it was for downtime from war. Sorry, buddy, we don't have to worry about that right now. We're in an active one. I don't know if it was baseball, though. I think it would be more like football. I don't know about baseball being like downtime from war. It's not as badass.
Would you guys like to transition to something lighter before we sign off today tonight? We can do whatever light, fluffy thing you want. My thing was maybe we could talk about street food. Please share a mundane joy. Are you doing anything in your gardens? Do you have any funny pet stories? I honestly don't have anything fluffy. I don't feel fluffy right now, but I hate to end the thing on a sour note.
I saw on the national news, NBC's national news, that there was a 100-year-old World War II veteran who was honored by people in his town, including a lot of the police and fire people coming by his house and wishing him happy birthday. And he looked like he was in pretty darn good shape for a 100-year-old man. He was standing up on his own and he was shaking people's hand and looked pretty cogent and all that. And, it was good to see. There you go. There's something. It's very vague, but there you go. Imagine it, ladies and gentlemen.
Imagine it.
Oh, I thought you said I imagined it.
Well, maybe I did. I mean, I can't prove it, so.
It's possible I imagined it.
I mean, it may have been a story I made up, but that's all I got. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, there is still good, like, even though, I mean, like y'all have said, everybody said this is not, a new thing for the U.S. for being involved in war. I think in the whole inception of the U.S., we've only been out of war like 16 years, right? Out of all of it. Out of some form of war. Something like that. I remember reading that, and I was like, well, I know that the past 30 years have been crap or more from where I started really paying attention. But even though that's been going on, we are usually still able to have some type of happiness. So, I mean, I don't know. I like my Roomba. There you go. Woo!
I'm happy for the drugs I'm on. I mean, they're all legal. They're all legal and been prescribed to me by a doctor. That's true, but I'm happy to have them.
Yeah. I mean, I got paid and was able to get my allopurinol medication.
Nice.
Victory.
I'm glad for indoor plumbing.
I mean, look, the point that you made about the United States only being not at war for 16 years in its entire history, its entire 250-year history, that's true. I have also seen that. That's been mentioned many times. So I guess, yeah, I mean, how do you go on if you were going to be depressed because we're at war? I don't want to make it lighter than it is. I don't want to make it like it's not important. But
did I mention the drugs I'm on?
You did.
Hey, me too.
That's
I got
answer.
Wellbutrin. I don't know which one you got, but my favorite is Wellbutrin.
I think mine's generic of Effexor or something. But yeah, if I didn't have the drugs I was on, I would have gone out and used that money for rope. So, and I wish I was kidding, but
yeah,
we understand, and also sending huggy hugs because
thank you, but I'm much better than I used to be. Again, because of drugs.
Oh, you still need hugs. What are you talking about? Shut up and take my hug.
Well, thank you.
No. But I felt the same way. But it was long before any of this, too. So, yeah, I got that medicine.
What Roger said? Hugs, not drugs, but also drugs.
But also drugs. I just pictured it in his voice, too. That's great.
Oh, no, I didn't mean to like shoot you down there, Eric. I was just like, I don't want anybody to worry about me.
I was just
like,
kidding.
I'm okay.
I know you would take a hug. I know you'd take a good old hug.
Yeah, I love it. I love your hug. I love it.
Oh, that guy is Senegalese. He's from Senegal. That dude, the Austin guy.
Senegalese, fabulous, he Alibaba. Copyright
so
strike.
perfect.
I got one question before we go. What you guys have had an hour to let it settle. So, Dispatches from the Pavement or the Ramblers, which would you prefer? Or the Podcast Bros?
Oh, no, Podcast Bros was a joke. We don't want to do that because that's like look up Theo Vaughn and you know about Joe Rogan's dumbass. Those are the Podcast Bros. I just thought it'd be funny, kind of like how they did Comedians of Comedy, because it was a joke.
You could be the podcasters of podcasting.
We should. That'd be nice. Can we get Patton Oswalt on? Brian Posehn.
That would be lovely. He seems like a great guy.
He's like one of my faves. And Zach Galifianakis was in Comedians of Comedy, and he's hilarious. But anyway, yeah, I don't mind either. I think they both sound good. I think Ramblers is definitely accurate for me. And my diarrhea of the mouth.
Yeah.
All right, I think I'm going to leave it on that then. I just introduced it with the with the Substack name today that I realized I did it. So we're going to stay the Ramblers. Also,
Edit
I've
it
already
out.
got it in there, and I won't have to change anything if I leave it at that.
You can just edit it
we
out.
are the Ramblers. Very great. Very, very great. Very good.
They're the Ramblers, ladies and gentlemen. They're very great. They're very great, ladies.
I don't want to be a downer, but I just got an update. And it is Trump. And I wish that I could do the Trump voice. I should send it to Scott and have him do it, but it's really just pathetic. But this is just, and I'll go back to my Roomba in a minute because, like, I really do think everybody should have one of those. But anyway, okay. Trump was just asked if Americans should be worried about retaliatory attacks at home. He said, I guess, like I said, some people will die. Can it be him?
I mean, some people may die, but that's a cost I'm willing to pay. Because, ladies and gentlemen, nobody lives forever. I mean, nobody lives forever, ladies and gentlemen. Didn't you hear the song by Queen in the lovely classic, The Highlander? Sean Connery, that man with the Neanderthal brow. Neanderthals, I don't even think they were real. I never met a Neanderthal.
But
These guys, these scientists, they think they know everything. They say, oh, we found a bone. It must be a Neanderthal. What if it was just a mutant? The mutants, ladies and gentlemen, they're taking our jobs. The mutants are not sending us their best. They're taking our jobs. They're killing our people. They're eating our food. They're driving our cars.
Well, guys, I think that wraps it up for today. If you guys will stay on, I have some questions to ask you, but I think that's it for the week. Thanks for joining.
Thanks, everybody.
We'll develop one. I actually had one, but it was for the other title. What was it? Sidewalk doesn't end. Another just a conversation.
The sidewalk doesn't end, but your life will.
Oh,
sooner or later.
No, wait. I was going to say the sidewalk does end. The sidewalk ends, but the conversation doesn't. But we're not going to go with the sidewalk thing, so we'll think of something else. Imagine sign off here.
Insert it later after you've edited it together. It's the magic of post, ladies and gentlemen.
I'll see you guys next week.